And we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Elusive Exclusive Book Society. We have another guest today, so I mean, we might have to change our name. How elusive are we? How exclusive are we? We keep having more and more people on. It's getting ridiculous. But today we are talking about something that is particularly manly. If you've seen the thumbnail, you'll know what we're talking about. It's got vengeance in the title. And I know we're a fairly manly bunch, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Manly-ish. I mean, Tim, you have that manly look, but your forte is more like sword and sorcery and fantasy. So if I have a question about like drop kicking somebody's face off, you're not necessarily the first person I go. I mean, if I had a question about like fairies and unicorns, and you'd be the person I'd go to talk to, but like, and Nick from the book Graveyard, you're obviously very manly and into this genre, but you're also a little vegan. And so like the problem is like it doesn't bother me any, but like a lot of people, like they'll automatically, if you're not chewing on a raw steak, they'll be like, okay, you lose 2 man points. Not me, we don't judge here, but I know a lot of people are like that. And I'm not particularly an expert in men's adventure or karate or anything like that or anything. I'm actually not really an expert at anything. I am an expert in baby making with 3 confirmed. But that doesn't really help us out here. But if anyone in the chat does have, any questions about making babies, you can contact me at pulpmortem@babymaking.com or just watch some of my instructional videos there. Anyway.
Thank you, baby maker.
So what we have today is a true expert in manliness, an expert in men's adventure, Eric from the Paperback Warrior.
Yay! I didn't download the.
Where'd the sound? You didn't download.
I didn't do it.
Oh my god!
I forgot, dude.
I didn't get an intro or something like wrestlers do. They come out with like music and stuff. And
no, it's
just
downhill from here.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Yeah, that would be good.
Sorry, we let you down already.
That's all right. You guys are obviously hard up for guests if you invited me. So.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Nick, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are discussing the Ninja Master, #1. Vengeance is his. Get a close-up of that.
Look at that.
By some bikers.
You got some butt crack.
That's my butt crack in the clip in the thumbnail. This is written by Wade Barker, who is not a real person. I looked into it to see who Wade Barker was and found out that it is unknown who wrote this first one. So we're talking about an unknown author here.
Mm-mm.
But there is a Ninja Master himself who took over after this one, and his name is Rick Myers.
Mm.
And he wrote 12 of the 16 Ninja Masters in the series. And how did I find this out? Well, over on the Glorious Trash blog, there was a review of this, and I followed it down, and then there was a link to vintageninja.net to where Rick Myers left a comment himself that says that he did not write this first one. So that's how we know that. But he doesn't know who wrote it.
I got money on George H. Smith.
George H. Smith? What's that?
Yeah, a sci-fi writer who wrote one of the worst books I've ever read in my life. But
so, is this foreshadowing?
No.
Foreshadowing of your review?
It was a sci-fi book written by a primarily sleaze author, but it continues. Didn't mean to derail.
So, I mean, we can talk about Rick Myers because I looked up all this stuff before I figured it out that it wasn't him. And I mean, he is the Ninja Master, right?
I mean, maybe.
No. All right.
I mean, that's a big term there, Ninja Master. I mean, it's the master of all ninjas, and that's a big deal, right?
Well, it's well known throughout Japan that he's one of the top 5 ninjas in the world.
Yeah. After only a year of training.
Right.
9 months.
It was 9 years.
Months.
Was it? Oh, was it months or years?
It was. We're getting ahead of ourselves. It was 1 chapter, 9 years.
Okay.
Oh.
And I wrote it wrong in my notes. Sorry.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Ninja Master. So our hero is Brett Ashford. He's in his hometown of Columbus, Ohio. Represent. He's not vegan, so he's very manly. He's a philosophy major, and he goes to Japan to be philosophical. And he
As per.
meets a beautiful woman, and he marries her. He took Jake's advice and knocks her up. They come back to Columbus, Ohio to celebrate. They're having a party at his very, very rich dad's house. One of his dad's friends is drunk. So Brett, being the good guy that he is, offers to take him home. While he's gone for that hour, three bikers show up and rape and kill his wife and kill his parents. And
You're laughing while you're saying that.
because
You're like, killed his fam. Kill
it's
everyone.
because I'm picturing it. I don't want to get into it yet, but it's you picture what it is. So
I'm just picturing the
"All right,
figurine.
well, we're gonna I'm angry, but let's let the law handle this. The law drops the ball due to a jurisdictional thing, whatever. What else is he left to do but become a vigilante?
Yeah.
So he waits a year, finds the bikers, kicks their face off, and then
He literally roundhouse kicks someone's face off.
I have that in all caps right here. Roundhouse kicks a man's face clean off.
then goes to Japan for 9 years, comes back, and now he's a full-time vigilante, and he decides that his first case is going to be a street gang in Los Angeles. And there we go. That's the story. So before we get started, before everyone gives their opinions, I need to know how much martial arts training everyone has.
I took karate when I was like 9 years old for I don't know, maybe 5-6 months.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, I could beat up all the older kids, but there was this one younger kid who I couldn't beat because he had this super annoying battle cry every time he threw a punch or a kick, and it caught me off guard every single time.
Give us an example.
Wow.
I don't remember what. I just remember he kept making a noise every time he threw a punch, and I was like, "Dude, stop it!"
Was it a battle cry or a mating cry?
I hope it was the former. I mean,
This book, you don't know.
Wow.
I wrestled in school. I stopped wrestling because I got tired of wearing the leotards. Those little. I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this on my body anymore. That's the extent of my martial arts training. Although I have watched every UFC fight for the last decade.
That's a lot.
So
That qualifies.
Yeah, that's
enough to know that I've yet to see somebody's face get kicked off.
No.
What about you, Eric? What's your martial arts training?
Yeah, so this is kind of bonkers. I'm glad you asked about this. Yeah, it's kind of bonkers. Most people are going to turn the channel after this, so hopefully they'll stick on. But growing up in this little town, there wasn't a whole lot of kids
You're
around.
splashing up for the chat up there for just 1 second. Leave it up for longer than that.
I keep seeing it.
I told you it's hard because someone's talking, but then that's funny. I'm sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
Anyway, so yeah, it was just me and this kid Freddie, and we're kind of hanging out, and we're starting to get into ninjas because there's like it's on TV and stuff, and there's like Shokasuji movies, and we're getting the magazines from the grocery store that's got the ninjas in it. But there's this guy in the neighborhood, and he was probably like, I'm thinking back at it now, he was probably like in his early 30s, which kind of weird that he's hanging out with us because we're in elementary school. But now that I think about it, it's kind of weird. But he would come over, and he was like ninja to the next level because he would come over and he would bring a golf bag, but inside the golf bag he had ninja weapons. And so he would stand in the yard, and we were just gawking at him, and he'll walk over because we had one of those little boom boxes, and he would be like, White Snake, and then he would put in opera. He tape traded opera tape. So he'll put in an opera tape, close it, and then he would just break out and do like bow staff, and he would have the double nunchucks. He had the grappling hook. He was like swinging the grappling hook, and we were like, where do you buy ninja weapons at? And he's like, the flea market. So I talked to my parents. I was like, can we go to the flea market on Saturday? And I just want to go get some melons or something. So we go there, and we find the guy, and he's literally selling ninja weapons out of the back of a camper. And I think it's probably illegal to sell these things, but you could buy like katanas, you could buy nunchucks. He had bow staffs. He had the what are the little curved one size, little mini size. He had the little daggers. But so I still have my throwing stars.
Oh yeah.
When I was a kid, I had these. Like, look at these things.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. But like they're sharp. Like these are actual throwing stars. I had 5 of them, but now I only have 3 because I guess the mortician kept the other 2 from my victim. I don't know. So, yeah, but anyway, yeah. So we would buy all these ninja weapons and just play with them in the yard, and I'm surprised none of us got killed, but it was crazy. That's my martial arts right there. That's it. But I'm proud. I'm so proud of it.
Amazing.
That's good. You must be really good with those throwing stars after so many years.
Yeah, but I'm terrible at darts though. Like I'm just awful. So maybe it's like just
different.
I don't know. It's a little different.
Have you made any of them into belt buckles?
Listen, I had the belt buckle too that had, you could pop it out and it had a little star inside of it. And listen, Freddie bought the ones that they wrap around their wrist and it had the little claws on it. And you could scale walls. So he buys them. He lives in a single wide trailer. Like this is a 1960s model single wide trailer, vinyl siding. He puts them on. He's like, watch me climb up my trailer. He's like, flop. And then he starts moving. It's like, no, it's not going to catch on anything. Like, it's not even going to work. So, and he had the blowgun. Like he had the blowgun with little darts. So yeah, he was practicing the blowgun too. So yeah, all this happening with the soundtrack of opera. It was just really odd.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
That's art right there.
Yeah, that's good. My only training is, I think after Karate Kid came out, I took taekwondo at the YMCA for like 5 classes. I didn't quit because I don't like taking my socks off. Well,
okay.
You can't do karate with socks on.
True.
Yeah,
very true.
You slide everywhere.
All right, Ninja Master. All right, so what do you guys let's see. What are your so we're at the party, we get the character backstory, the tragedy happens. What are your initial thoughts of the Ninja Master?
In the beginning?
Yeah, like I mean after the tragedy, I guess.
I honestly thought we were gonna get into the action a lot quicker than we did. I did not expect several chapters full of pondering the nature of the legal system and justice and vigilantism. Obviously, I expected a little bit of that, but it was very heavy-handed those first couple chapters. Then we got that initial action scene where he He kicks the biker's face off. What is he elbows another guy in the head and his skull
Just caves
explodes.
it in. Yeah.
He grabs the other guy by the testicles, bends him over, and breaks his back.
That's my favorite part. When he drags the guy by his testicles.
He drags him by his testicles. Yep.
Yeah, that was so good.
I thought it was gonna be like that nonstop, and we got quite a bit of. I guess this is kind of like a setup novel because obviously we said this is a big old series. What was it? You said 16, 17 novels in the series.
16,
so,
yeah.
16. So yeah, it's obviously just a setup for the adventures to come. But yeah, I don't know. I thought there was going to be a lot more ninja action. I was kind of underwhelmed, to be honest.
He wasn't a ninja yet.
I guess.
Right.
He could already crack someone's skull with his elbow, though.
That's true.
Pre-ninja. Imagine how badass he is later.
Yeah, because he was already a martial artist from his trip to Japan the first time. So he had some martial arts skills. I mean, not enough to kick someone's face off because that's ridiculous. But he knew what he was doing. And plus, these are, just average dudes, I guess. They were just bikers, I think.
Yeah, they were outlaw bikers, man.
Yeah.
I imagine they'd be pretty tough. Not easy to crack their skull open.
Probably not.
When he comes back and finds his parents and the wife, I love that so the mom is missing her arms and the dad is his
that's
leg
right.
and, and then it goes together and he picks up all the pieces and he puts them back together.
I forgot about that. It was like the grim jigsaw puzzle or something they called it. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the over the top violence. I mean, it would have been so gratuitous in the beginning, so unbelievably gratuitous, because it could have just been, I found my parents dead. You could even explain how tragic it was, but yeah, the body parts everywhere, the fact that his wife was raped, the fact that his wife was raped by a figurine that was on the coffee table.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
forgot about that
why? Why is that necessary? We get it. These are bad guys.
It makes you wonder, like, when you're the author and you're writing this, and you take a break from writing or whatever, and you go to the grocery store, you're in the produce section, you're buying eggplant, you're just thinking to yourself, how can I dissect this family in a creative way? Like, I mean, where does that come from? It's not like just your average thoughts, no matter if you're writing whatever. I mean, it's just the way that you come up with a creative way of slaughtering people is like, it's crazy, but definitely creative.
Oh man.
Yeah, what was his inspiration? Horror movies?
Mr. Potato Head and maybe the Operation game or something like that. I don't know where the figurine comes from. I don't know.
We don't want
Maybe
to.
Maybe he didn't win one of those little trophies when he was on a sports team. He's like, I'm gonna take it out on the trophy. I don't know.
He got a participation trophy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy.
Did you guys remember there's scrawled in blood singing in the rain on the wall?
Oh yeah, what was that about?
I totally forgot about that.
It was, I think it's a nod to Clockwork Orange, because that's what happens in Clockwork Orange is the gang goes to that rich person's house and rapes the wife and kills her.
Yeah,
beats up the guy.
Good observation.
So I thought that was kind of like a nod to Clockwork Orange. Maybe that's where he got the idea. He's like, I like that.
I like that scene. Drinking milk the whole time.
Sure he wasn't drinking an Absolute?
He was drinking an Absolute.
So yeah, let's see here. So yeah. So they got the bikers. They admit to everything, high on PCP. And then they get off with a technicality. Typical America. And what are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do?
I loved when he was talking with his DA friend, and I wrote this line down. He asks him, "Is that justice, Ted? Is that the justice we talked about?" And his friend says, "It's the same lady, Brett, but I'm afraid she's become a whore."
I wrote down that line.
Wow.
Yeah. I was the beginning. I was a little disappointed because I'm like, okay, fine, he's gonna go train, but you'd think it would actually show any of the training, but it doesn't. It just like, so he went to Japan, learned all the stuff, is in the top 5 ninjas in the whole wide world. Also learned some stuff that some people would classify as magic. And now he's back,
Yeah.
and he changed his name from Brett to Brett.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Ashford to Wallace. It makes a difference. He's in hiding.
With that last name, it made me think of like back in the day, there was a martial artist named Bill I think it was Superfoot Wallace, and I was thinking maybe he got that Wallace from that guy. I think he was like kickboxing champ for a long time.
Oh, what year
Yeah.
is that from? I think this came out in 1981.
Superfoot Wallace fought in the 60s, 70s, and then by the 80s he was doing like cameo roles in movies. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
he was fighting when Chuck Norris was fighting back in the kickboxing days.
Yeah,
So
you're
the Wallace could have come from that.
You're probably right. So yeah, how do you guys feel about the vigilante justice?
In this book format or in life in general?
Yeah. Gotta be specific here.
Yeah, we got to be careful.
In the book format. I know.
I thought it was great. I thought that like I said, that was my favorite part when he enacts the vigilante justice. I thought the whole book was going to be a build up to that. So I was surprised when it was like at the first third of the book, it was resolved. I was like, oh, and now we're going on to a completely different story.
Yeah.
And, so that was a little jarring, and I kind of wish it would have been more finding these guys out, because that was kind of the main emotional crux of the story, was getting vengeance. I mean, it's called Vengeance is His, and vengeance is done for like a quarter of the way through. And so that was a little strange, I think, but that was my favorite part of the book.
Yeah, the bikers.
Yep.
Yeah, it was really fast. Like that whole story was just wrapped up quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead.
Anytime there was action, it was like, ridiculous, over the top, and I love that kind of thing. I'm coming to find as I slowly get into the men's adventure genre, that it's like these are the book equivalent of those over the top B movies from like the 70s and the 80s, where it's vigilante justice, it's rogue cops, it's ninjas, it's and they're just destroying everybody in their path. So I mean, if the rest of the series is like that, I might have to look into it. But yeah, for my taste, it was just a little slow to draw. And then, we had like something like 70-page swath where there's very little action and it's a lot of dialogue. But yeah, once we got around to the action, I was there for it.
Yeah, I've read one of the later ones, and it's way more action filled.
I heard the series after this, which is the War of the Ninja Master, I think, is really good. I heard that there's actually, it's a little bit more in depth, and it's got like it's just it's supposed to be written better. I think the character changes their name. Maybe I think the character becomes it's like a one-word name. I think. Am I right?
Dermo.
Yeah, that's it. So, but when I first got this book, I didn't know anything about it, and what threw me off though was because he's not wearing a ninja suit. It's just like just a UFC fighter, right? It's like, yeah, because in the 80s, because this came out in 81. I mean, we were at the beginning to get into like the Octagon movie with Chuck Norris, which was where I first saw ninjas, and then you had Sho Kosugi's movies, which Pray for Death and Enter the Ninja were really big, and And then I don't know if you guys remember that TV show, The Master, that had Sho Kosugi on it and Lee Van Cleef. Yeah, let's search for that on YouTube. It's just called The Master, and they make Lee Van Cleef supposedly be Japanese. So
no.
Like, who's buying that? But it only lasted a season, but it's got a really cool intro. It's got cool theme music, and Sho Kosugi is the bad ninja, and they're having a feud in America with Lee Van Cleef, who's the good ninja. It's bonkers, but yeah. So going back though, the cover just doesn't make any sense. He's not really a ninja.
Yeah.
He's just in like a belt and slacks, essentially.
Yeah, that's it.
He stole Yakko Warner's pants.
But going into the next part of the book, though, I was thinking, like you mentioned earlier, I was thinking it was going to have some philosophy, some training, some stuff happening in Japan. Like, I was thinking, like, this is going to be like Batman Begins. Like Bruce Wayne's parents get killed. He goes to the Japan. He's learning all this stuff, carrying buckets on his shoulder up mountains. No, none of that stuff.
No, it was like 2 paragraphs. It's like 9 years. He's a ninja master.
Yeah, that's it.
And knows magic.
Yeah, what's
got
crazy
magic
about it
in
is,
Ninja Master.
well, they say he's he's in the top 5 ninjas in the world. But I was thinking, like, is this like a college sport ranking they check every Monday? Like, Osama has moved up to number 5.
They have a whiteboard at Ninja HQ. They use little felt tip markers and things.
Yeah. Well, it makes you wonder, like, how do you get out of the top 5? Like, death? You just die?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess.
It's just dumb. It's just crazy.
Yeah, if they have a reader board, it's not how clandestine can this thing be?
Right.
Come on, Brett.
Yeah.
There were many, many moments that I cracked up laughing. And one around this point was when I think it was when before he killed the bikers, when he did like the whole Three Stooges, like, you got something on your shirt here.
Oh yeah.
And boinked his nose. And he says the guy didn't realize like an inch. He walked off and said, what did he say? 1/8 of an inch to the left, and I would have killed him. Or something.
Yeah.
I killed the man with this thumb. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I thought we were gonna maybe this happens later in the series. I don't know. I thought we were gonna get more of like those like subtle, because it says that he masters like the whole like acupuncture and acupressure points and stuff, where he can essentially kill someone and then it's like a time thing where they'll die weeks or even months later or whatever.
Yeah, if he touches a certain spot in their forearm, they'll die a week later.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I thought we were going to see something kind of like that, and that was when when we were texting about it, and I sent that clip from Fist of the North Star where he just explodes the guy by touching all his pressure points. I thought for sure we were going to get something like that, and I was a little disappointed that we didn't. But yeah, I'll take like you said, I'll take roundhouse kicking someone's face off. I'll take belt buckle ninja stars to the face. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, the action was definitely few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
So he sets up shop in San Francisco, and then he meets his ninja connection lady. I think they say like 10 words, 10 sentences to each other, and then they're hooking up.
With very, very descriptive foreplay, I might add.
I don't remember it. You have it written down, Tim?
I don't.
Yeah. He's got it written down. He does.
Oh, shut up! I just remember it was very like explicit, and then cut to black. They wake up the next morning and they're having breakfast in the apartment or whatever. But yeah,
it's the dirty part.
Yep, that was the only scene that was like that though, for whatever reason. Like, it was the only real sleazy scene in the whole book. Just kind of odd.
Have you guys ever bought a used book and then you notice that the spine is cracked on the section that's got the nudie scene in it? You're like, wow.
No, but that makes
it's
sense.
odd that this book opens up perfectly to that spot. Like, does somebody have it in one hand and they just bend backwards? And then you're just like, I'm not reading that ever. I'm not touching anything.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're putting you in the paper shredder.
Right. Yeah. But apparently his training and stuff in Japan made him like a really good lover. Like he had a prowess in bed or something. Like he's supposed to be really good.
He does know the pressure points.
Right.
And dog-eared.
Yeah. So he's like, when you picture like martial artists or that kind of thing, it's usually like this very spiritual, philosophical type thing. And this dude gets back and just starts banging chicks. Like he hooks up with the ninja girl, the hooker down in LA, like that.
I got one of his pickup lines to the hooker.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
You're not gay, are you? No, said Brett, smiling. I think you're very attractive, and I hope we'll all end up having wonderful sex together.
That's smooth.
It's very smooth.
Smooth. Like it's perfect. No fat, no wasted words. That's the economy of words in Brett is perfect.
I can't remember if it's the first scene with that character or when he meets up with her later. But then at some point the author describes her as wearing the bottoms of a string bikini that made a G-string look like a pair of boxer shorts. Excuse me? How does that work?
Your imagination.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's good stuff.
So yeah, now we're in LA. The street gang is terrorizing the neighborhood. I gotta say, when they first started talking about it, I thought it was like a street gang, like the Bloods and the Crips or something, you know. But it was more of like a hierarchy, like mafia type, cartel type thing, you know.
It was,
but
like, yeah, but like I get what you're saying, because like it felt like it was a very street level kind of thing, and then next thing we know, they're going to like mansions and like big, shindig parties, and they're having like these 5-star dinners and whatnot. It's like, where did this come from? And I'm sorry, I didn't write this down, but I seem to remember at one point they said that like they tried to turn it into like a Christian youth program or something, or like that was their cover.
That was the cover, yeah.
Gosh. So weird. I think the author,
the donut shop lady.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the donut shop lady. I think that maybe the author wanted it to be he wanted it to be like a street level thing at first, and then maybe at some point he changed his mind. He's like, oh no, these are high class criminals. They just recruit, anybody as long as they seem tough, they'll approach them. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like all of these like this vigilante vengeance type movies that are from this era are street gangs. They're like punks. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought we were getting, and it just kept getting higher and higher. I was like, I wanted punks.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we're in LA talking, getting drinks, talking some more, having some more drinks,
going out for lunch, going on a picnic, putting on nice clothes, having breakfast, then going out to lunch again.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot of vodka absolutes right there.
Yeah, so that really dragged it down, huh?
I wanted so much more action, and like I said, there's that 70-page stretch where it's just like we're setting up, we're having lunch, we're talking to people, we're talking about forming a watch group for the neighborhood, setting up. I don't know, but yeah, and then when it finally gets back to the action, it's like oh yes, finally, and then it's really quick and it's over.
I know. Yeah, when he there you go. When he kills the guy in the bathroom, jams his nose up into his brain. Like it was like 1 second. You're like, did we wait all this time for that? Come on, man. He's not even dressed like a ninja. Like
No.
I just kept like, why doesn't he knows who these people are? Why doesn't he just put on his ninja outfit and sneak up there and?
I think because this was a power fantasy for whoever this author was. It's like what he wants to do. He wants to kill bad guys, sleep with every girl, and go out to lunch.
That's all men's adventure, dude.
Mhm. Yeah.
But he was very hungry when he wrote this because he was constantly going out to eat something. He'd even stop and get a donut. Even when he wasn't hungry, he stopped and get a donut.
Yeah, it's
With
really
his abs-
descriptive. Very descriptive. It even mentions like he's listening to like certain types of artists, like jazz artists, and
Yeah.
he's saying that the chick's got like a Rolling Stone T-shirt on. Like, he describes everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I think it's just padding the page count. They had to get to like 180 pages, so they gotta add stuff in. But it's like, why didn't he just back off on that and just add more action? It seemed like that would even be easier to write.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, was it supposed to be like, because I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of like an investigation, and that's kind of cool, but it's like a really boring investigation, you know? Like he's not uncovering anything. He's just like, what do you know about these gangs? They're like, hey, Doc. He's like, okay.
We don't like them.
Yeah, they're ruining everything.
They set an old lady on fire.
It set an old lady on fire.
I have it written in big bold letters in my notebook. 70-year-old rape victim set on fire. But he definitely was like padding for some reason. Like he was looking for excuses to pad this out for some reason. Maybe it is just because Warner wanted him to have a specific page count. He's like, you need to write 180 pages because at some point. I have this dog-eared. At some point, we just get this super tiny paragraph. Brent went back to the Cloverdale, took the phone off the hook, meditated for a couple hours. Then he prepared a simple dinner of rice and vegetables, had 2 cups of tea while listening to some jazz and relaxing before going out for the evening. End of paragraph.
That's the whole book. There's so much. You're right. It is padding. So much just writing. This is just what happens here. Like I wrote down another one that actually cracked me up. He had just ordered an absolute
Again. Yeah.
Clancy's was going strong for a Wednesday night, and Brett ordered a beer after that. He literally just ordered an absolute, then he ordered a beer. And stood at the bar and waited. It was a fashionably jeaned crowd, and the livestock auctions were in full swing. But Brett wasn't interested, even though he was being viewed as a hot item by a peppery duo who looked as though they could add spice to anyone's life. And that's it. It doesn't go anywhere. He just wanted to let you know there were 2 hot redheads that were checking him out.
Look, he's really hot, okay? We need you to know that.
So he goes up against the gang. First, it introduces Jeff Archer, who he exists throughout the series.
Oh, okay.
He's in like number 12 or whatever that I read. He's there. He's like the protege. So it's his introduction, and so he's like a martial arts guy too, but he tries to go against the gang and gets his ass kicked. Then later on, I think the gang thinks that he set them up or something. Yeah. So they go after him. Right? I don't remember. I read so many.
I think he tries to kill his brother. He tries to kill the younger brother of one of the gang leaders,
Poppy Williams.
Yeah.
So yeah, because then Brett Wallace, Ninja Master, goes undercover with the help of what's the hooker's name? Patty the hooker, and gets in with the drug dealers, the gang, and he goes undercover. And then, in order for them to trust him, he has to go along with them on a murder or something.
Yeah,
they have to
watch him. They have to watch him murder the Jeff Archer kid.
And this is after he gives them $100,000, for crime.
Yes.
Top five
yeah.
ninja, one of the top 5 ninjas of the world.
Yeah. Oh, wait, before that though, we get the scene where his one cop buddy gets captured and is held at like someone's house, and he has to break in and rescue him, and he's dodging bullets like Neo from the Matrix.
That part was great.
Yeah, the action scenes were cool. They just needed more of them, you know.
Yeah, I was hoping they would do like the shooting the arrow and he catches the arrows like the ninjas did back then.
Oh yeah.
Just throw that down. None of that though. Did you guys catch that? One of the gangs sounds like an English football team. I wrote it down.
Rangers?
The Wilshire Rangers. They sound like an English Premier football team. Like, what is that?
I didn't think about it.
Maybe that's part of their cover.
Yeah.
They all wear jerseys. Yeah.
Right.
Like a Warriors gang. That'd be awesome. So yeah, finally, at the end, someone gets a shuriken to the face, which is what I was waiting like the whole time for.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's it. Him and Jeff Archer are gonna go back to San Francisco and start their vigilante dojo restaurant business.
Which, if you know anything about San Francisco, they failed.
They failed. Oh, they failed their business.
They failed their business. So.
Oh man.
Ooh. I thought that was kind of interesting though, because like you said, this is obviously a long-running series. I guess he kind of wanted to do something similar to what like the old school pulp adventure series would do, where they would have like an actual team of characters that are specifically, you know, they're vigilantes or, you know, they're mercenaries that hire themselves out. It's kind of like a Doc Savage kind of thing, where it's like we have this headquarters and, you know, we hire out our agents to people who need their problems fixed. I thought that was kind of like, I don't know, maybe he was trying to maybe revive that genre, but, you know, make it a little sleazier, a little edgier, maybe.
Yeah, in the style, in the current style.
Yeah.
I had a note like that written down because I was like, oh, he's like this really rich guy, you know, whose family gets killed and then becomes a vigilante. I mean, that's like, isn't that the classic prototype for the for the pulp hero?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Batman.
That's the Shadow Batman. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it was kind of like a pulp hero, but ninja-fied.
Yeah.
And drunk.
Horny.
And horny. Oh yeah.
All right. So what? Let's see. So the weak points and the strengths. Did we already go over that?
Yeah, the strength is just the action sequences were so over the top, but they were just too few and far between.
Yeah. If you were a ninja master vigilante in Brett's place, how would you have taken on the gang?
I would have just used a pencil the whole book. Because remember, he killed someone with a pencil. Why does he need any other weapons? Like, just use the pencil. Number 2 is the go-to.
Yeah. Number 2 is the go-to. There's your description for this video.
You could throw the pencil. You can use it like a dagger. It could be a sword.
Yeah.
And he's got a pencil. It's a death instrument. So
Pencils and belt buckles, man.
I mean, would you have even gotten to the gang, or would you just called it a day after the bikers?
Yeah, I think that, like we mentioned earlier, I think they should have built up that storyline a little bit more. Like that should have been the central plot, is him tracking down each of the ones that killed his family.
Yeah.
And that could have been, you know, killed the first guy in the first 50 pages, and then the next 50 pages, the second guy. But the third guy is going to be really hard to get. And maybe the third guy hires some people to protect him. See, I could write the Ninja Masters
because he knows the Ninja Master's coming. Yeah, they've been way better.
I was like, and then what happens, Eric? And then,
but I was gonna say, like, this was 81, and you've got the vigilante protecting the neighborhood, and Death Wish 3 comes out in 85, and it's the same plot. Charles Bronson's the vigilante, he's protecting these elderly in a neighborhood, and then there's another men's action adventure series called Hawker, and I was looking because I reviewed something similar. It was Hawker #2, which happens to be called L.A. Wars, which came out 3 years after this book. This came out in '84, but it's kind of the same thing. He's protecting a neighborhood of elderly people, and in that book, the gang is called the Panthers, where which Ninja Master is called the Wilshire Rangers. And talk about crazy stuff in that book. Hawker ends up shooting one of the bad guys in the Thatchy area, right in the balls. Like he just shoots him right in the balls.
That's disrespectful.
So it's disrespectful. But I was just saying, like, that seems to be a kind of a classic thing. Let's get a vigilante, clean up the neighborhood, kind of thing. So
Yeah, it's total fantasy. This is the fantasy genre.
yeah.
Men's fantasy. That's what they should have called it.
Men's fantasy.
Yeah. It's like what you're saying. It's modern day pulp. It's modern day pulp.
Yeah.
So, did you like it? Was it enjoyable at all? Were you like, oh, this is, I'm glad I read this?
Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will definitely need to see what the other novels have, because like you said, if there's more action in the other novels, I'll definitely be down, because I'm gonna be honest, like aside from the action, I was kind of just speed reading through this one, because we mentioned already, it's most of it is lunch meetings and getting drinks at the bar, sizing people up, and getting stared at by hot chicks at another bar. And yeah, anytime there was an actual action scene, I was down. So if there's more of that in the rest of these books, then I'll definitely be down. But yeah, this one was just a little bland for my liking.
Yeah, sometimes you and Nick, you and I talked about this before, but sometimes you want to read bad books. Like you're like, I can read this awesome Lawrence Block Scudder book or this Max Allan Collins Quarry book, but I just want to read something stupid. So that's why you read Road Blaster and Swamp Master and The Butcher and all the Penetrators. And sometimes I'll do it when I don't want to invest in the book. Like I've got other things going on in my life, and I was like, I'll just read this because I don't need to think about it.
It's a popcorn novel.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, it's popcorn.
Yeah, totally. And it is enjoyable. It's not good, but it's enjoyable, right? If that makes sense.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it wasn't awesome by any stretch of the imagination, but I thought it was entertaining. I wasn't speed reading it or anything. I was just, okay, now we're in another cafe scene or another. I couldn't reread this one, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
This one would be impossible to reread. But
yeah, I read this book years ago, and I haven't reread it since. So yeah,
you missed your chance.
Mm-hmm.
You almost got to read it twice. The only person in the world who's read Ninja Master 1 twice.
Right.
You could have held that title.
Yeah, you got to wonder like how many, like obviously the series was successful. Like somebody read this first book back in the day and said, I can't wait till the second one comes out, and they went and bought a second one, a third one, and we got all the way up to, like you said, it's a pretty high number.
Well, I mean, it could have been that it's like some bands, these huge bands have like flops. Like I don't know if you know, but if you go back and look at Bruce Springsteen, he's been around since 1969. Those weren't hits up until the 80s, So maybe they were just like, well, we're not giving up on it. We're going to hire this real guy who knows what he's talking about. And when you read the Rick Myers ones, like it is actual like fights, like karate fights, and like
that'd be awesome.
The terminology is all the terminology, and like he knew what he was talking about. And this guy was just like, I'm gonna write a ninja book, but he's like me writing a ninja book. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's making shit up.
The only ninja thing was the ninja star belt buckle, literally at the end.
Yeah, I think so the Rick Myers who took over, it says he is inducted into the World Martial Arts Hall of Fame, the Worldwide Martial Arts Hall of Fame, the Budo Magazine Hall of Fame, and the Action Martial Arts Magazine Hall of Fame. So obviously it's going to get better if you got someone like that writing it versus whoever this was, you know.
No,
Right.
that's just like saying he's one of the top 5 ninjas in the world. Who's doing these reader boards?
Yeah.
These are official.
But does he ever get in, like, one of my issues with another series called Phoenix is written by David Alexander, is in the middle of the scene, he'll put like, he crouched down into the monkey paw stance and then elevated himself with a
Yes.
springboard back heel flip. Yeah, like I don't want Rick Meyer to do any of that stuff.
No, he does.
It's
Yeah.
overkill.
Yeah, that's in there. Yeah, and the terminology.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean, unless you're not into that.
Did you guys see that there's a I'm gonna pull it up here for you. There's a Ninja Master book, and it collects. Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
It
That looks
collects all
awesome.
the artwork from the Ninja magazines back in the 80s.
That's cool.
Yeah, I wish I had it. It came out and there was a limited amount and they sold out like instantly. So there's no other way to get this book. That's just the picture of the cover. Ninja Master. Yeah.
Yeah, well, as we know, Brian, you have bad taste in books. So
That's the truth.
Have you guys
Oh,
read
I-
any other
okay.
like martial arts books kind of like this? You guys read any others like Black Samurai?
No, I have one Black Samurai, but I haven't read it yet. I read that The Crown.
Yeah.
That Terry Harknett wrote that one, the Edge guy.
I can't remember what it was, but I was at a bookstore recently and they had it wedged between the Western section and the fantasy section. It was some kind of like samurai novel series. They were like super thin, like only like 100-something pages. I can't remember what they were.
Oh man,
They
you
were-
didn't buy it?
I should have, but I overloaded on Westerns. So
It may have been the Six Gun Samurai series. It's a Western.
that sounds familiar. It might have been them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep an eye out.
I haven't read them, but they sound cool, right?
I
That
asked for
sounds-
them. I asked for them for this Christmas, actually.
Nice.
And someone was selling the whole series for $40 on eBay.
Oh, dang.
So don't buy it, please.
Okay.
Hopefully, my wife has already bought it. Shut your mouth! Don't tell people.
Only $40 right now. Let's get on.
Screw that guy. Thumbs down. So yeah,
Oh, go ahead. There was one part to get back to this book that absolutely made me die laughing. It's because he was really trying to sell how bad these villains were, the big bosses. Which again, we thought they were just gonna be like street level thugs, and no, these are crime lords. They were so bad that they were out on parole because they were too dangerous to be kept in jail.
yeah. It happens every day. American justice system.
Messed up.
Too
not
dangerous.
right.
Too
Messed
dangerous
up.
for jail.
Eric, you read a lot of these books. Do you feel it getting into your psyche here? Do you feel it like swaying you in that way?
Like men's action adventure books.
Yeah, you're like, look, the streets are filled with urchins. We need to take care of this. This country's out of control. Communists.
Yeah, I try to take it all with a grain of salt. But I like there's some cool music that's vigilante style music. Like they'll write like lyrics that are similar to these types of books. Like you can look up Hank Williams Jr. has got a vigilante song called Mr. Lincoln, and it's about a guy getting off from some heinous crime, and then he's talking about going out and killing this guy for getting off. But the reason is he's like, I wish Abe Lincoln was here. Like that's the kind of the idea because the justice system was so bad. And there's another one. There's a band called Stuck Mojo. It's a cool name, Stuck Mojo, and they've got a song called Charles Bronson, which is about vigilantes. So somebody gets inspired by these movies and books, definitely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of action adventure books have martial arts in them. It seems like all these heroes have some kind of judo skills or martial arts skills or something. So it seems like it's par for the course.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of that when we read that Hawk novel a few episodes back.
Eric, you like Hawk, right?
No, I love the covers though. The covers are amazing. But I read the first one. I was thinking like, all right, this guy's going to be a badass. He's going to be on some kind of secret mission, or he's some kind of undercover cop, or maybe he's a PI. But he's just a playboy. He doesn't have a role. He's just spending money.
He's a journalist. Come on.
Yeah, he's a journalist, not really doing much of anything. Yeah, the first book he's on that like a cruise ship or something, and nothing happens like through the whole book.
Yeah, I just read the first one. It's very different from the later ones. It's like a real book. It was boring.
Yeah, it was really boring.
It's like a real book.
Like a real book.
Wow.
You see that? That's the tagline. It's like a real book. Boring.
Boring. Yeah, because I like the bad ones that are later on.
What is this, literature?
Exactly. If you guys read it, we read the Virgin Stealers. If you went back and read that first one, you'd be like, who wrote this? Because this is a different person writing this. Like, he was trying really hard to make a really good book.
Huh.
And by Virgin Stealers, he's just like, chainsaw hooker.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say he did a full 180 by the time he got to Virgin Stealers.
Yeah.
Oh. Not on our show.
Not on this show.
So yeah, that's all I got for Ninja Master.
That's it for Ninja Master.
Yeah. Final thoughts you're gonna read on?
Did you guys write down what the other series titles were called? Because it has a different name, right? There's War of the Ninja Master, then there's something else. What was the other one?
Year of the Ninja
Oh, yeah. Year of the Ninja Master.
I got some of them right here. Ah. So yeah, Mountain of Fear.
Oh, that's great.
Only the Good Die.
Ooh.
This is the other one I read, Dragon Rising. This one was insane. It had like, oh man, it was so crazy. It was nonstop. And there was like people in ninja suits.
Nice. Okay, so those are the ones I need to read. Sweet.
And then here's the War of the Ninja Master.
Nice.
It was like in 3 different sections. I don't know why they like split it up and did it in that. Like the first 8 are these like men's adventure looking ones.
Is there some kind of through story on the other series like that makes them separate like that? Like some kind of overall story arc?
I haven't got to the War, but and I know in this one that Brett Wallace goes crazy. So he's like losing his mind, and the ninjas back in Japan are like, we got to take care of this guy. He knows all of our secrets. We got to take him out. So it's like him losing it and other ninjas from his ninja clan coming at him to killing him. And then Jeff Archer finds out that he has this disease and he can't stop pooping. So he's constantly shitting his pants through the whole book and like having fights. And at one time he like fights this ninja guy and he starts having this seizure and shitting himself. And the ninja guy is just like he's like, I can't keep doing this. He like felt bad for him. And then
I can't keep ninjaing under these conditions.
That sounds awesome.
It does.
It is.
They should have a whole team, and all they do is they shit all the time, and they could be called IBS.
We need more sound effects.
Yeah, we need something.
Look at Brian. Now that is literature.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
It rules. That's the first one I read and was like, man, I got to read more of these. And he ends up going down to South America and they join some guerrilla outfit, and then it becomes like this like war thing. There's like no ninjas. They're just walking through the jungles with their guns, like a Vietnam book all of a sudden. And then it ends with this crazy like supernatural thing at the top of this mountain with this crazy lady, and it's like lady like rapes Brett Wallace or Jeff Archer or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. That's what I want.
Joe R. Lansdale I was looking it up here because he had like a ninja book, but it's MIA Hunter #4, Mountain Massacre. And it's got the 3 guys who rescued POWs in Vietnam fighting a gang of ninjas in the jungle. And it's written by Joe R. Lansdale, so how bad could it be, right? So that's a good book. If you ever want a good ninja type book, read that.
MIA Hunter #4.
Yeah, Mountain Massacre by Jack Buchanan, because that sounds manly. Jack Buchanan. It's got Buck in it, right?
Got Buck and Cannon in it.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then there's the guy who wrote oh God, what is it? Death Merchant. Joseph Rosenberger, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a ninja series as well that I've never read, but I think there's maybe 4 or 5 of those.
Oh, Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, there you go. Shadow Warrior. Yep.
Oh, I've seen some of those in my local bookstore.
Pick them up, man.
Want to get your ninja
stuff
going, man. Really get it going.
There's too much stuff there. I can't.
You can't get past the science fiction section.
I can't get past the science fiction section. Yeah.
So we need some science fiction ninjas. That's the goal. That's the high water mark right there.
Ooh.
There's got to be something like that out there. It needs to be.
Yeah. Ninjas from Mars. Ninjas from.
Look, Levi, I don't know how it can get worse than Death World 2, okay? It's not going to... I shouldn't say that because it could actually get much worse, probably.
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Power Rangers. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been an hour.
Yep.
It's time to wrap it up.
Yep.
Take it, Jake.
What?
I don't know.
You're
wrap it up.
hosting.
No, I host the Ninja Master part. You host the show.
We need to have our guests start doing more stuff. This is ridiculous.
Hey, I brought props.
That's true.
He brought props and an awesome story about some white trash ninja master he used to know.
With opera music, yeah. Oh, we should have had. If we had better production value, we'd have opera music sending us out afterwards. That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
Well, we could just that was Ninja Master #1. I don't know. Any would you guys recommend it?
It sounds like I'd recommend the rest of the series. I mean, from what you guys say, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think you could probably skip the first one and just because I think even in that comment left by Rick Myers, he says that when he wrote the second one, he just like dismissed all this stuff at the beginning of the first one anyway.
No. Okay.
So
nice.
Problem is, where are you going to get the books at, though? Right? They're kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
So
I got mine on Amazon, but it cost me like $15.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, I think mine was $12, and it wasn't worth $12. Although mine did not have a creased spine, so that alone might be worth $10.
And mine was in fairly good condition. The edges were a little scuffed, but yeah, no broken spine. Cover was pretty good. I don't know. I don't think my copy was actually ever read. So.
Oh wow.
$40
on eBay.
That's not. No, they were $10 on eBay. I looked them all up when I chose the book to make sure that I wasn't picking something that was expensive.
Yeah, Abe had it for. Well, of course they didn't have it, but they had it for $12.
Okay.
Yeah, with free shipping.
Wow.
So.
How did that work out?
Not good. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. And I had tried to call this bookstore in it's just south of me the other day because I didn't want to drive 2 hours down to find that they didn't have the book, and I was going to try to reread it. And I called her, and she answers the phone at this bookstore, and I said, I'm trying to see if you have Ninja Master, and she says, Ninja Batter, and I said, no, Master, like Thigh Master. And then she says, Batter Master? I said, no, it's not a baseball book. It's a ninja book. She's like, well, what is it called again? I was like, Ninja Master. She's like, "Oh, it's not a baseball book." Like, no, it's not. I don't know any baseball ninjas, but that could be a thing, though, I guess. But she didn't have the book either, so so the last time I read this book was like 2019, I think.
A baseball bat is a sheath.
There we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
There we go. That's got to be
Yeah,
an
well-
anime out there somewhere.
You can call him the Grand Slammer #1, Grand Slammer #1.
Mm,
Grand Slammer. They do love baseball in Japan, so
they do.
Yeah,
The bases are loaded with
bullets.
action, bullets. Yeah.
Like ninjas can't shoot though, right? They're not allowed to use bullets, but yeah, we
Blow
can
darts.
figure out something.
Yeah, blow darts. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Or 3 out of 5, 3 out of 10. The cover's fun.
it is. It isn't all the covers for these,
Yeah.
or at least
Cover's
like the
great.
initial series are really, they're really, they're the stuff that classic pulp is made of. So I mean,
Yeah.
Did anybody happen to look up who the artist was? Because I forgot.
oh no, I did not.
I couldn't.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I could find it.
Mm-mm. Well, anyways, yeah, let's go around kind of saying what we have, doing promo, anything we got going on. Yeah, maybe we'll start with you, Paperback Warrior. What do you got upcoming? Anything?
So I have a video next week going up on my channel for my trip to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was up there to see Iron Maiden and stopped in 2 bookstores that I saw on the Facebook community chats. So there was a couple good bookstores there. So I went there and did a video. And I'm taking the rest of the month off. I've still got reviews on the blog every other day, basically. But my next podcast won't be up until the first Monday of January.
Okay. And where can people find your blog at?
So paperbackwarrior.com, and that'll give you the archives to all the podcast episodes. We're up to, I think, episode like 108, I think. So 108 episodes there that you can listen to when you're bored. And the YouTube channel's got maybe 150 videos on it.
Mm.
And then written reviews, there's probably close to 1,200 on there. So.
Jeez.
How
Yeah.
long have you been doing it?
Well, I started in 2013, but I didn't really do anything with it up until 2018. So that's
Okay.
and so myself and Tom Simon write the reviews, but we don't credit each other. We just do it as kind of like Paperback Warrior is a house name, so we just throw the reviews up there. He does maybe one a week, and I do the rest. And then he used to do the podcast with me up until episode 100, and so now it's just me doing the podcast. So.
Right on.
Yeah, I found your guys' podcast, and then there was 2. I was like, "Oh, this is great," and then it was 2 episodes, and then you disappeared. I was like, "What happened to those guys?"
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Tom decided to take a break from it because he's kind of concentrating on his own. He's a real life private eye. Imagine that. So he's off doing his own adventures. So, yeah. So yeah, I got inspired by Paperback Fanatic, Justin Marriott doing the Paperback Fanatic magazine. So I was thinking, well, maybe I could do something like that. So, but I didn't do magazines.
It's cool. You got the new issue right behind you there.
Yep, got that, and yeah. So I didn't even know really what a BookTube was. I kept looking for the app for BookTube. It's like, is there a BookTube app? Like, why am I not into BookTube? And then I realized it's just a tag.
Yeah. So now that you've done this video with your face on there, are you going to do more videos where you're there?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm going to do more videos, and especially since you've kind of showed me the StreamYard thing. So I've got a buddy of mine named Greg, and we're going to do some videos, some podcasts together and some videos together. We've got some crazy stories coming up in February and March that we found out about authors that have, like, one author's like, he went to prison, got convicted to go to prison because he defamed the Pope in one of his books. And he got convicted of it, which is crazy. So we're going to tell that story. And then we've got another one where this guy was writing spy novels and he got recruited to be in British intelligence during World War II to actually design plots that the Nazis may run on England because he was writing them in his fiction. So they were like, this could be like a real thing. So he got brought in and became an agent with the British intelligence. So we're gonna tell that story too.
Dude,
Some
that's
fun
awesome.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah. So
All right. Go ahead, Tim.
Oh my goodness. Well, I actually have something besides videos to promote this time around. I do have my next Star Trek book review coming out sometime next week, probably. Either that or a Solomon Kane review that I've been trying to do for a while. But aside from that, this last week, the first issue of my own self-published e-zine was released on it's available on Amazon and Kindle now. So Necromancer, the genre fiction zine, is now available. First issue, like I said, it's on Kindle right now. I'm planning on doing that as a bi-monthly thing. It's basically just an outlet for me to put out some of my short stories that I haven't published yet, and also just ramble about movies and TV shows and books and video games and all that kind of stuff.
nice.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
awesome.
Awesome. My name is Jake over at Pulp Mortem. I review old vintage science fiction books looking for lost classics and often finding a bunch of trash. Kind of like today.
How dare you?
But upcoming later this week, hopefully I'm going to get out the best of 2024, the top 10 best books that I've discovered on my channel this year. And the week after that will be the worst of 2024, which there were some pretty fun lists. I'm a little behind because I had to replace the carpet in my house. So I was literally doing that up until the moment I jumped on the live stream here. So hopefully that video will, normally I like to get my videos out Thursday or Friday, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's all I got coming on.
Yes, Eric, you are.
Oh,
The very end.
We were
Sad.
just talking about you too, so that's
Trash.
just talking trash.
Jake was like, that third book's never going to come out. You shut
So
your
yeah,
mouth, Jacob. It is. He's working very hard.
he's wasting his time watching shit like this.
Throws desk.
Throws dead.
He lets out a Viking roar and just. I can totally see that.
Oh,
Right.
man.
So I'm last here, Nick. Book Graveyards, where you're at. I have coming up. I did this last year and it was a lot of fun. But I put in order every book that I read throughout the last year. So I think it's like 70 or something. And then I just go through and they're in order. Can you guys imagine what the worst book was last year? Just a guess.
Does it rhyme with Death World 2 by Harry Harrison?
Yes, it does.
Wow.
So, spoiler alert. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And then I have the, more reviews and stuff. I was thinking about, because Brian at Bad Taste Books does the audiobooks, his bootleg audiobooks.
Yeah.
I know I'm always talking about Cherry Delight, and you guys are always wondering. And I was like, how funny would it be if I did an audiobook of Cherry Delight where I'm reading in my voice?
Make it happen, please.
But it can't. Here's the thing, though. It can't be one of the Gardner F. Fox ones because they do those.
Yeah.
It has to be one of the offshoot, like the later ones,
Do it, but do like a high pitched falsetto voice for Cherry Delight. Do it
Should
like a
I
real voice.
act it all out? Is that what you're saying?
Dude, that'd be so yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be
Never
awesome.
have I wanted something so bad and not known until I learned of it.
Because I just read one, and she's like, is the scene where she captures this other woman, and then she's describing how their boobs are mashed together, and I'd be like, this would be hilarious if I was reading it.
It'd be so great.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I don't know. It's just an idea. I might do it. I might not. That's it.
Put a poll out. Put a poll in your community. We'll see. Anyway,
Anyway.
that's it, folks. That's Ninja Master.
Oh, Yeah, you can announce the next thing, or
Oh yeah. We are having a end of the year EEBS. What did we decide on? The 20th?
Yeah,
December
Friday the
20th. Is that Friday?
Yes.
yeah, it's Friday. Yeah,
Friday, December 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on, and not reading a book, just kind of talking about the year, talking about the best we've done, or the best, our favorite books of EEBS, our favorite, or our worst, least favorite. Is that what we're doing? Now I can't remember. What
whatever.
both. Yeah, both. Whatever.
We're gonna trash on Bumcider and
Yes.
Death World 2 is what
Yes.
probably what we'll do. But also we've all sent each other Christmas packages, so we'll open those live, and
Not yet.
you guys are gonna get anthraxed. Is
That's
that still?
I was gonna say we open the box and it's like 12 copies of Bum Cider, but
Oh, I should have done that. Dang it! No, we drove up the price of Bumcider. I can't afford that.
I got the artwork and I saw how many colors it was, and I was this close to making everyone Bum Cider shirts. I was like, I got real work to do. I can't wait.
I got real work to do.
Can you imagine going out in public with a Bumcider shirt? How many people just be like, "What is that?"
Yeah, that's another thing. Is I was like, you guys aren't even gonna wear them. I'm gonna go to all this work. You ain't even gonna wear them. So.
No, we'd wear them on our live stream. Or we'd wear them when we do videos. That's it. It would never leave this office.
All right, I gotta go pick up my wife.
All right. Again, special thanks to Eric from the Paperback Warrior. Here's the sound effect that we didn't download.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is a blast. I really appreciate it. It's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. Oh, and the next episode is on my channel, Pulp Mortem. Pulp Mortem at babymaking.com or .org. See you later, everybody.
Bye. End.